sort of different backgrounds and different things. So we have entrepreneurs, we have CAs, we have celebrities, we have artists, all sorts of people. The idea being that yes, you get to learn something from their experience, from their journey, their successes, their failures. So yes, we continue with that, and today we have another amazing, super professional, super. Where did you grow up? How was your childhood like?
Yeah, so I was born in Rajasthan. I stayed there. I come from a city called Bhilwara. It's called the textile city of India. I was there for quite a few years. Then my parents shifted to Mumbai, and yeah, that's when my major schooling and everything happened in Mumbai.
Wow. So when did you come to Mumbai? How old are you?
Yeah, it was the year of Y2K. It was the 2000. So technology happened that year, and that year is when I shifted to Mumbai. We were destined to do technology startups.
Interesting, cool. And so, what did you study? How was your how you were as a student while you were growing up?
Yeah, very bad. So I bunked all my school classes and majorly just I don't know about you, but I used to bunk my school classes and would take out time to go to cyber cafes and play Counter Strike and other games. And most of my time would go into finding books at dirt cheap prices of technology magazines and reading them off. So I was very much tech aficionado even at early stage, early age, and yeah, that's what. So schooling was not, in terms of study, it was not the major highlight, but apart from that, did everything.
Wow, interesting. So this love with technology. Yeah, what do you see? Why did it develop so early on?
Yeah, so one of the reason was I always wanted to have a personal computer. Some of my friends had a personal computer at home, and coming from a middle class family, your parents would not buy you a computer very easily. So that became like a passion for me. I wanted to assemble the best computer, and I started reading about things related to hardware, software, what kind of. So it was all about dreaming, how I would build my personal computer, and
Wow.
it was like the starting journey in terms of technology.
Interesting. So this is another thing which we share. I actually sold assembled computers while I was at IT Bombay.
Wow. If I knew, I would have wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Then, so how was it after the school? How was the college life? What did you do?
Yeah. So somehow dots connected for me. So even during the school days, I went into stock market trading, and because I used to follow all the economic news that were happening around, the economic macro picture. So there were at that time around 8,000 listed companies, and I almost knew every ratio of these companies. Right?
Oh my God.
P ratio to revenues to what the shareholding structure is, and that's what I did for 1 or 2 years during my summer breaks of 11th or 12th standard, and during that time internet was gradually taking off in India. It was around 2007-8 when Flipkart was started, and I started following some tech blogs, and I should comment on on those blogs. And so on one of that blog was called What Blog, What stand for Web Advertising and Technology, and someone named Harshil Karia, he picked up my comment. He said, "Why don't you come and start writing for us?" And that's where the journey of writing about technology startups, interviewing tech founders began.
Wow. This was while you were still studying.
Yes, so this was pretty much my college life, where I would get my pocket money writing blog articles and tech columns for newspapers like Bangalore Mirror, Mumbai Mirror, Indian Express.
Interesting. And then you did a startup as well while studying?
Yes. So again, so technology, business, and internet, I became very really passionate about, and that's why I was trying to figure out how do you build a startup, and then coding was also one of the facets which I wanted to learn. So during college days, I had a lot of time to kill. So I started something called Recruit Hunt. One of my thesis during Recruit Hunt was that if someone has to post a job, it's very complicated. At one point, there was websites like Naukri.com, and then they were classified, but there was not a dedicated job classified. And that's when I thought, although I did not have much understanding of how to run a startup, but that's when I coded the complete platform and went live. It did well for 4 to 6 months, but they didn't have much understanding to take it forward.
Oh, interesting. So there, Recruit Hunt, you started alone. You had co-founders. How was it?
I was alone, so I used to wake up and I used to code and I used to see. So in the initial days when you build technology startup, you get so fascinated with all the features. So what you should include more than the business focus itself.
Oh,
So that was the thing, and I never noticed it, but the job postings were a lot of people were posting jobs, and even after many years, when I saw that Twitter account of Recruit Hunt, I saw that because I had automated the job posting to a Twitter profile, and there were thousands of jobs that were posted that time.
interesting.
It was all play and work. It's learning. So somehow dots kept getting connected for me.
Okay. Okay. And well, so you, meanwhile, along the way, you completed your MBA, right?
Yeah, so I never wanted to do an MBA, but then I thought MBA must be really cool. People make strategies there. So why don't I go and join an MBA program, because most of my friends were doing that,
Mm.
and that's when my thesis was that which is the coolest MBA college I could find where I can go learn something, and yeah, that's when I decided to do an MBA.
And how was the experience of MBA?
Yeah, so it was a great experience because I'd never been into a formal environment as during colleges. I was working as a blogger and I never did a full time job as such. So it was a very different experience for me. And somewhere a good learning curve was built. And luckily, the MBA which I did was not a very boring program. It was a business design, or you can say design thinking based MBA,
Oh,
master's which I
interesting.
did, and that somehow helped me in later part of the career. That time I thought it's just some interesting stuff or just another stuff which I'm reading, but later on I realized the importance of it.
Interesting. And then you finished MBA. So while you were finishing MBA, what was it in your mind? You took up a job? Why?
Yes. So even I was double-minded. So when campus placement were happening, and I thought I should just go and sit for campus placement until I figure out what startup I have to build, right? And I got selected for a
Okay,
campus.
hold on. So you knew you had to do a startup.
Yeah, since very long.
Okay.
So that has been the passionate, building something that could impact people's life. That was the road all along. So every path that I choose, somewhere I wanted this path to lead to the destination of building technology or building something that impacts people's life.
Cool. Yes, please carry on. So what happened with the job? Yeah.
So yeah, I set for a campus placement, and I used to bunk my MBA college. So I thought I would hardly get a job offer, but I got placement during the first interview itself, and that also then I said, okay, let's go and join the job, and that's when yeah, so I did that job for like 8 months, and I figured out that I cannot survive in a formal culture. So that was pretty much the job journey.
Okay. And so with that with that job, what happened next? I see that you became part of CredR. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I met a very good friend from during my first job, and he was from IIT Bombay, and basically, we used to spend a lot of time thinking about, what technology startups would come in the near future, and he got a job opportunity from CredR, and that's when he joined CredR and he asked me, and when he joined it, he simply called me and said, "Why don't you come and meet the founders? They're doing some interesting stuff." And that's when
What was your expectation while you were joining CredR? What was in your mind?
uh, the expectation was, I wanted to see the inside of a startup, the hustle part. That was my personal expectation, and uh, uh, so that, yeah, that was my core expectation. And when they hired me, they said, "You understand e-commerce? Why don't you come and join us and see which part of the business you could impact?" And it's somehow it was the most meaningful and learning experiences of life which happened at CredR. To build a team and processes everything, I learned it by doing there.
Interesting. And what exactly did you do at CredR?
Yeah, so as I said, I had no title when I joined, and it was like the a hustle environment. So when I joined CredR, there were different teams. There was a product team, there was a operations team, there was a business development team, and I saw a gap that there, no one is focused on marketing. In the initial days, there was no team for marketing, and that's when I said, I'm going to combine product and marketing teams together, and so I build the, because for a consumer e-commerce business, your customer acquisition and your product growth is really important functions. So that's what I headed the team for.
Interesting. So what was your key learning from doing all of that?
A lot of learnings. When you see the complete startup cycle from 0 to 1 and 1 to 10, you realize that a lot of things could go right. It could also go wrong, and usually you would never focus on those things if you have not been into a startup. So how things like culture of a startup shapes the path or the journey of that startup. That was one of the major learning. Second is how you build the initial team. So CredR went from like 3 people to almost 350 people in 6 months, and we had most of the brightest people who were working from sofas, who were sitting on carpets, and so how you can build a culture which empowers people to do greater meaningful things on your mission. So a lot of learnings in terms of team building, culture, building processes, and things that could also go wrong.
Interesting. And then you started, or you jumped start. So what was the trigger behind the starting jump start, and why that name?
Yes, so because I was into product and marketing field, marketing domain. A lot of my friends would call me up and they would say that I need help with starting off my store. I need help to drive more new customers. And when I started to understand that pain point, I was really surprised. And I also come from a family who owned a small business. So my parents owned a small business in Navi Mumbai, and I used to sit there at the store, and I know it's not an easy job sitting 10 to 12 hours. I interacted with a lot of my friends. I realized that small businesses they don't adopt much technologies. So when one of my friends she opened her store, she asked me how she could market herself, how she could get more new customers, and I started giving her suggestions that why don't you capture customer details? Why don't you ask for a review from customers? And that's when she said that, I don't have any tool for that. How do I collect reviews? How do I capture the details? And then we went in, me and along with my co-founder Kamar. So this was the insight that we collected, and then we said, we have a lot of friends who own these small businesses. Let's ask them if they also face the same issue. And that was the insight that we tried to build on. And our thesis was that there are millions of small businesses in India. They would adopt some technology that would help drive more growth to them.
Okay. So the idea was of building a tool for small businesses.
Yes. So initially, we went to some small businesses and we said, would you like such tool which helps you gather more reviews and help you drive more new customers? And they said they would pretty much love it. And we only started coding when we had actually paid businesses, who said that I would love to use such tool. And that was the whole idea. So at Jumpstart, we wanted to build a customer interaction platform, which makes it super easy for businesses to collect reviews, customer referrals, and do direct messaging for with customers. And Jumpstart, again, the name it got derived because we wanted to drive growth to the business, and it suddenly occurred to us that Jumpstart would be the perfect name because we keep using the word. So that's like when a car is not working, you jumpstart the engine. So that's what we wanted to do for local businesses and small businesses.
Interesting. So you mentioned that, yes, you and your co-founder, Kamar. What's the story behind that? How did you guys meet? How did you find Kamar?
Yeah, so Kamar and I have known each other for almost a decade now.
Wow.
We were also in the same MBA college, and we have worked together. And luckily, we also worked together on past two companies. So whichever company I have joined, Kamar was also there. So he was also there in CredR, heading the talent acquisition. And
who brought whom?
It's you can say I brought Kamar to both the companies, okay, because I knew he has a huge skill set, and luckily whenever I had his requirement, he was available. So. Yes, and so I've known him for quite a long time, and that's when I was contemplating about Jumpstart. He said that he loved the mission and he was interested to tag along, and that's when we said let's go and build up for small businesses.
Interesting. But what was in your mind when you said that? Okay, so it's one thing to work with someone. Okay? You have colleagues and you have a lot of colleagues, but sure. But then it's another thing that you decide that okay, we can do something together. We can start something together. What made you decide that, or what really sealed that decision? Yes, Kamar can be a co-founder for your startup.
Yes, so we both were during college days where we have participated in a lot of hackathons. Which got featured by a lot of newspapers, and so we built a solution called Saluto, a startup called Saluto during our MBA college days. It also got featured. So I know.
Oh, that's another startup which we didn't speak about.
It wasn't a startup. It was only on growth hacking 2-day thing that we built, but it got picked up because of that concept. So, because Kamar has also seen the hustle of the startup world, and he also liked the mission. So that's why we chose to work together.
Wow, interesting. And you guys worked at CredR as well together.
Yes.
All the while, right?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So when you were starting with,
as I said, we didn't even start to code until we got a paying customer.
Wow.
Paying business. So and what we realized, small businesses want growth, and they want it really bad. And anything that can work for them, they would be open to paying. for the solution. So that was a validation that, in India, if a small business is ready to pay for a solution, that means they really have a need for it.
Then this, where does this name come from? So from Jumpstart to Token, how did that happen?
Yes. So whenever we spoke to these businesses, right? So one thing that happened was these businesses were collecting a lot of reviews because of our solution, and but they would still say that, can you help us more in driving more customers? And when we spoke to them further, they said that, I clearly know that. Someone like M Creations, who runs a fashion store in Navi Mumbai, he said that, I clearly know that there are shoppers who are coming and shopping in my neighborhood stores.
Okay.
How to retarget these customers to us? And we said that, we were building a tool which was enabling reviews for them, but we didn't see we saw it as a very small and minor thing to impact them. We said, can we bring all of these small businesses together and help them drive more new customers to each other? And that's when, we got that insight. When every business, in every conversation, they would keep saying that, we want more new customers. We are good at relationship building. We are good at retaining these customers. But can you help me drive more new customers? And there was not a single platform that was a win-win for merchants as well as for the consumer. And that's when we strike the insights for Token. And Token is basically in India, anything that is like a prepaid thing, like for customers, it's a token gift card, a prepaid gift card, which they can go and explore other businesses.
Interesting. So what was the stage where you realized that yes, this is a business, and which is like we have validated, and now we should go for the next stage, raising funds?
Yes. So we raised funds. So we always had, during Jumpstart, we already had revenues going on for us, and that's when we thought that if we need to hire a better team and build a better solution, and keep working on that mission, then we would need external funds. And that's when we raised initial round of capital from venture capitalists. And
when was that?
It was last year, 2019, around May. And a lot of marquee investors who came on board through venture capitalist network. And that's when we also pitched the investors that we are thinking of building Token, and we saw it as a future for small businesses. And that's when we went ahead with Token. And similarly, when we initially built Token, because we already had a footprint with small businesses, we could implement Token platform for them. And that's when just this year pre-COVID, we also raised funds from Mox SOSV.
I'll come to that. Yeah, that is a very interesting story. So so you raised funding last, and then then again you started looking at funds. But then why choose something like Mox, an accelerator? Why did you go for it?
Yes. So Mox is basically because for Token, we were at very initial early stage, and we were speaking to some investors, and we said that we want to raise some institutional capital. Now we already had marquee angel investors going for us, and Mox happened. And when they pitched to us that they are a ecosystem or like a super app where they could connect us to other startups, and even our previous investor, venture capitalist, has invested in a huge number of startups. So we saw a good opportunity because with Token, we want to collaborate with more and more small businesses. And Mox SOSV, we saw a way where they could help us partner with, based on other startups they have in the ecosystem, partner with more and more of such small businesses. So both the fundraisers we did it with one of the reason that they would help us connect with more of businesses without spending any money.
Okay. So how was the conversation, the investment conversation with Mox? How did it happen?
Yeah, so I think venture capitalists referred us, uh, or I think it was one of the founders who referred us to Mox, and we got on a call with William, and that's when we realized that they are very quick. Within a week, we had a call, and on the first call itself, William from Mox Associates said that he would be interested to come on board. It was a quick decision from there, and that's how it happened. And it just happened like pre-COVID. No one knew, COVID is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. And then once you got into the Mox program, yeah. So how the conversation have been once you became the part? How has it really helped you?
Yes. So before we joined the Mox program, we also took feedback from some of the other founders, and their feedback was it's one of the best startup accelerator you could get access to, and then we joined Mox, right? And from since we have joined Mox, that we never thought that they would bring on board a team of experts who are always there to help you in terms of your growth hacking, in terms of your plan, in terms of your strategic partnerships, and they're always there. So they would have a call with us every week, and we had extensive sessions with their team. So it's basically like they multiply your team. So that has been a good experience with them.
Interesting. And now I'll come to the topic of COVID. So everything was going smooth, as I see. Yes, you are growing. You got into Mox, and so when did you become part of Mox exactly? Which month?
It was during March and or April.
Yeah, so March. So just around COVID that you were speaking, and then it happened. So how did COVID impact your business?
Yeah, so small businesses or neighborhood businesses got impacted really bad because they were not even allowed to operate. So that situation has never happened where you own a business and you are not allowed to operate due to some valid reasons. And when we spoke to a lot of these businesses, they initial thought was that this lockdown is going to go away in 15 to 30 days, which didn't happen. So everyone was initially for a month or two they were hoping it will go away,
Yeah.
but it didn't went away.
So I guess that 1 month period was essentially just like wait and watch, and then yeah, ठीक है, एक महीने की बात है, हो जाएगा. Yeah.
Same. So even no one thought that it's going to last this long. And we are sitting at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Yes, so they got impacted really bad, and one of the trend which we saw was a lot of small neighborhood businesses were opening online stores. So they were opening Shopify, and their problem statement was the same that now I have opened the store. How can you drive more customers to us? So we said that customers can't go to the store, but how can we bring more customers to their online stores?
Based on that, they started getting online, so you had to help them come online. But how did you really cope up with it? What all changed in terms of the product and the product strategy?
Yes. A lot of things changed. So pre-COVID, we were building it like an online-offline world, right? Majorly, and so the whole system was based on showing you businesses near your location, and the architecture did have possibilities of building online stores, but we never thought of from that angle. So they waited for initial 2-3 months, but the lockdown didn't went away, and they found it really difficult to continue because at one point of time your costs were not going away, and you were not making any revenues. So almost 15 to 20% of these businesses are not coming back. some of the industries got heavily affected, like service-based industries like restaurant, salon, and spa. Now these industries are back again to pre-COVID, and some of them are even getting better response than pre-COVID levels, because now customers want to go out and whatever is spending they wish they control during COVID days. Now they want to go out and spend.
Coming back to the vision around Token. So now that the world has changed, what do you see? How Token is really going to enable the 30 million businesses that you talk about, or the next 500 million customers that you talk about? How exactly is a Token looking at that?
So if you're a small neighborhood business, right, you're facing threat from everywhere. You first have to fight your local competition, then you have to fight your organized players, then you're facing threat from Amazon, Flipkart of the world, and that's an existential threat for a lot of these small neighborhood businesses. We see ourselves as building like an Amazon Prime for these small neighborhood businesses and bringing them together in a community, because we know that one single business cannot fight the power of big retailers. But when all of these businesses come together, they would make up for a greater force. So that's how we see the area, as that all these businesses, when they can come together, they would have a better chance of survival.
Interesting. So this coming together part, how does it happen on Token really?
Yes. So if a business join Token community, they can start referring other businesses in their neighborhood to join Token community as well. And all these businesses are thanking their customers, because they know one thing. Whenever they provide a great service, they also send a thank you as message, or thank their customers. So they are giving a thank you Token community gift card to or their customers who come to their businesses, and that's when the customers get these gift platform, and that's why we have built a matchmaking engine which recommends new businesses that you would love to explore, and the incentive for you is you get a full value gift voucher to go and explore that business. So businesses.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And in this journey till now, so from a startup perspective, one of the most important thing always is building the team.
Yes.
And you mentioned about culture earlier as well. So how do you see? So one that the team that you built, and the second, the impact of COVID on your team or culture.
Yes. So team building is very crucial for any startup, because you need great talent to attack a problem statement, and that's when I figure what I've learned is, if you have a proper mission statement, what you are building towards, that's a big motivation for team, because every day to get out of bed, right, you need that you are not just building for money, and you have some bigger purpose at hand. That is the thing. And coming to during COVID, so just like all of us, the teammates and their families, they were also going under lockdown, and that's when we try to keep them motivated during some of the team activities which we try to do online, and post lockdown we we have tried to also do some activities offline as well.
Oh, interesting. And so being part of the MOX network now, yeah. So one is, so you already mentioned that the MOX team has been helping you a lot. Yeah. But the second part being the MOX network itself, the other startups which are part of Mox. What kind of synergies have you seen, and how that network has really helped you?
Yes. So first of all, you get to interact with great entrepreneurs like you, and yeah, and you also get to collaborate. So just like Superpro is working on bringing millions of professionals and enabling them. So we get to work with a lot of other startups in Mox ecosystem and see where we could collaborate with them, and even they could use our services and we could use their services. And Mox has already a ecosystem because they are one of the largest startup accelerators in the world. They have already have a pool of startups, so it really helps you. And whenever you're building any technology, that some of the Mox companies or startups are already there, and they can give you a great discount.
Yeah, true.
So yes, it really helps you to quickly close deals and collaborate with partners and build initial case studies and then go out.
True. So what's next for Token now that you look at it in this changed world? You already highlighted what changes have happened in the product and everything. But what next? What do you see at how Token is really going to keep growing? What's going to be the growth driver there?
Yes. So our mission statement is the same, that we want to drive growth and protect small businesses. We were initially doing it for offline neighborhood businesses. Now, so powering stores and a lot of online independent retailers are joining Token platform. So the roadmap for us is bring all of these businesses together in a community so that they are able to help each other, and we create a win-win situation for these businesses and the consumer. So this is pretty much the roadmap, and keep going double down on your roadmap, and making it better and better in terms of your matchmaking that happens between businesses and consumers.
Mhm. So now I recollected one of the questions.
Similar other businesses where their customers might go, they can simply blacklist other businesses or other categories where their customers shouldn't be going. So we have built tons of feature for these businesses to ensure that their own business does not get killed.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I have options to choose that I can ensure that.
Yes, you can choose that, and every gift card which every business gives out, we have a trackability which business is giving. So a matchmaking engine takes into consideration all those things that a small business is looking for.
Interesting. And on the fundraising part, so is Token still looking to raise more funds?
Yes. We are looking to raise funds. So we paused it for some time because we felt that during the post-COVID era, we first want to analyze the kind of impact we want to have for future, and we have enough runway. So once we have built up on certain parts of our roadmap, that post that we would be looking to raise more funds.
Okay. I think there's one question which I wanted to ask. I actually forgot. It was there in my mind. I was saying something, and then I just kept. I think one question which yes. So between you two, you two founders, you and Kamar, yeah. How's the equation? Who does what?
So I take care of the technology, the product side, the marketing side. Khamar takes care of the community side, driving more businesses to Token platform, and also in terms of partnerships and strategic alliances.
Okay.
And then we have a superb team, who takes care of pretty much everything at Token.
So how many people are there at Token?
So we are a team of 8 people.
Cool. And is Token looking to hire more right now?
Yes, probably. we are always open to hire people who believe on our mission.
Mm-hmm.
What I've realized is that it doesn't matter if you have been together for a decade. We all have our shares of fight. Where or disagreements, I would say, not fight, uh, but yes, it's all about the great ideas that win, and because we have been building it from day zero, both of us together, so we have certain insights, and whenever one person is wrong, the other person can, or we accept our mistakes. So yeah, that's it. So we know that you can't be right all the time, and you need to be open
Yeah.
and flexible to with each other's opinion.
Cool. So now I'll come to the takeaways for our audience in general. So one, what will be your advice to your younger self? So the one which is say still in the college. What would be the advice for that guy?
Well, I should have started a lot earlier, and I should have worked in a startup a lot earlier. So that would have been.
I mean, you started working a lot earlier already. What do you want? Why you wanted to work in a startup while you were in the school?
Yeah, I was working, but as I said, I did not have that confidence to, go out and work towards building a startup that impacts people.
Okay.
So it's like more than the textbooks and college. It's your work experience, and at the same time, when you see the early stage of failure, that's where you learn the most from.
And what's your advice for the aspiring startup founders?
Uh, I think I'm still learning every day, so I won't have any advice for startup founders. But it's a different journey for everyone, and you just need to have a faster learning curve, and customer is always the king. So the market is always right, and if you are not able to build something valuable, or if you're not gaining momentum, then probably you need to change, not the market. Market needs to change.
Yeah. And so again, the advice to startups which are trying to get into mocks. What would be your advice, or maybe the best way how to get into mocks?
I think if you have built something that uses technology to build impact, then mocks, you will get into mocks. Mocks will be open to hearing out you. So apart from that, I don't think there will be any advice. If you are building something really valuable, they will see it.
And the final piece is so of course we see a lot of businesses, startups, and of course a lot of them have recovered from the corona shock, but then yes, a lot of startups have actually died. So those who are still somehow surviving, what would be your advice to them now grow and thrive with this changed world?
Yes. So with every unfortunate event, I see an opportunity, and this is what I've learned even during stock markets. So when something tanks down or goes down, that's a best time to reanalyze and reassess things. So COVID has presented a lot of opportunities. So if something wasn't working for you before, or something stopped working for you, then this is a reset button, and now you can analyze the new set of opportunities which you will be getting from COVID, and start building upon those things.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. Yeah, I think that's all. That's all. Yeah, that's all I have got. I can't think of any more questions. Any concluding remarks from your side?
I would have one question for you. So
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, what's your major learnings? So, because you have done, multiple startups and filed a lot of patents. So, what has been your learning which you would want to give to other startup founders?
The biggest learning is um, learn to unlearn.
Mhm.
Yeah, so don't get into the loop wherein you think you have learned something. The world is changing and will keep changing. So it's more important to unlearn now than to learn, because whatever you learned probably was in a different world. And if you still continue with that, the set of learnings that you had, at least now I can say yes. Maybe a lot of it won't even be relevant. So yes, unlearn.
That's great. I agree to it.
Cool. Good. Any concluding remarks from your side?
No, thank you so much, GT, and really look forward to interact further with you. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay. Yes. So with that, I'll say, see, guests on Pro Talks, yes, they are available on Super Pro. So yes, we will be sharing your Super Pro page link with others, and as I see it, there's connect to him around business, trying to understand more on his business. Feel free to reach out to him. We'll be sharing his Super Pro page link very soon with the recordings. And yes, with that, I'll close tonight's session. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in, and those who are watching the recorded versions. Yes, if you like it, yes, please feel free to subscribe to us, like it, share it. Yeah. If you like this part, I'm sure if you share it, there will be others who would benefit from this, from the journey and the experience that Raghav has shared. So please do the needful. Thanks a lot. Take care. I'll be back with another Pro Talk session tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks, Raghav.
Thank you.